you do have children and your smoke alarm goes off, that you need to change the way in which you have an evacuation plan for your property, and don't expect your children to be woken by the alarm sound. You need to go and get them.
Elizabeth Quigley reporting there. It's 7:23.
Time for our thought for the day. Now it comes from the Reverend Philip Blackledge, rector of Holy Trinity in Melrose. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, the name Milo Yiannopoulos may not be all that familiar to us in Scotland, but he is currently the subject of huge controversy in America. Yiannopoulos was an outspoken contributor to Breitbart News before he had to resign over comments he made concerning paedophilia. Yiannopoulos is a young man who can be very cruel, gifted in spite, who delights in offending, and his downfall has been celebrated by those groups and people he hurt. I first saw him a few months ago and was initially outraged at his blatant intolerance and cruelty, but something stopped my outrage. He reminded me of somebody I went to university with. And his mannerisms, his quick wit, his finely honed scorn, he reminded me of a friend who was volatile and fragile and the victim of horrendous child abuse. Yiannopoulos too was abused when he was a child by a priest and a teacher at his school. He said that he didn't regard it as abuse because he consented, which is the comment that got him into trouble. And of course you can't consent when you were a child. I saw that too in my friend, accepting the abuse as a way of trying to control it, deal with it. And the thought that I had about Milo Yiannopoulos was the same thought I had about my friend in the university. They weren't made to be like that, to be full of hate and spite. The Psalms tell us that God makes us a little lower than the angels, but what we do to the innocent when on earth shapes them, and sometimes it wounds them and causes them to do great evil. Perpetrators of evil aren't born for evil, they are shaped by the world around them. I never quite had the courage back then to ask my friend why he was so cruel to people. He protected himself with a wall of mental barbs which stopped any of us getting too close. But what I realise now is that when we see someone being cruel, defensive, angry, if instead of reacting against them we can be brave enough to respond with love, we can ask the questions which may begin the healing of those wounds. Evil does beget evil, but kindness, courage and love will always be stronger.
Thank you very much for that. That's the Reverend Philip Blackledge with our thought for the day. 7:25.
That's time for more sport. Phil, good luck.
Well, Gary, the holders march on in the Scottish Cup, but Hibs fans probably this morning not focusing just yet on the upcoming quarter-final against Ayr United. Instead, they'll be revelling in the feeling of putting one over their oldest rivals. The Easter Road side beating Hearts 3-1 last night to leave Jambo's boss Ian Cathro doubting his players' desire to, in his words, fight for the shirt. Hibs manager Neil Lennon, though, couldn't speak highly enough about his victorious side.
Delighted, really proud of the team as well. Obviously, I got the reaction I was looking for from Saturday, but they were magnificent, thoroughly deserved to win. We dominated the game for large parts through a hungrier team, and it could have been a lot more actually.
As a Hibs threat here, and the ball is with Jason Cummings! For the opener in the derby replay at Easter Road, 20 minutes played.
We wanted to get a win, and that was it. Everyone wants to win the derby. There's not a better feeling when you walk around here, the phone and the singing Sunshine and Leaf, what more do you want as a player? You don't want to get up for that. If you don't enjoy the match, you shouldn't be playing football.
On his right foot, Cummings rolls it through. Hold! Brilliant finish from Grant Holt, and Hibs have a 2-goal advantage.
They want to fight hard enough for the shirt, for the club, for the supporters, for everything that this game means to people. And because of that, we lost any chance of momentum in the game. We lost the game because of that.
How much personal responsibility do you take for the same?
100%. 100%. That's my job. That's what I do. I want to step up and do that because that's what this situation is. So we've overestimated where we are. We'll find solutions to it quite quickly.
Shinnie at the edge of the box, and his shot flies past Jack Hamilton and into the corner of the net, and there is nowhere back for Hearts in this Scottish Cup tie. Hibs are heading for the quarter-finals.
We wanted to start the game well. You never can tell in a derby what way the game's going to go for you, but the likes of Humphrey, who lost after 3 or 4 minutes, set the tone. I could go through the whole team. I went through the whole team on Saturday, the opposite way. Tonight I went through the whole team's